Okay. So I remember to press record. Like I said, I don't mind moving up the call half hour. So if this works and we can get more people on this way, awesome. Because I want you guys to get the most of this. So I have a couple of announcements. And hey, I'm Lauren. That's not an announcement, but I have a couple of announcements about stuff coming up that's in the works, or we just need to know about that maybe weren't in our announcements because it just happened like today. So next week, our call is going to be hosted by Elizabeth Hartke. She is just awesome. I encourage you guys to go check her out. She is precious mama and just has a big heart. She is very family oriented. She just really speaks a lot of truth. And I just love, I won't like give you her whole like bio stats, all that stuff, because that's for next week. But I really enjoy when we're able to have other leaders on here, other coaches, it doesn't matter if you're a brand new coach or if you've been a coach for 27 years, even though the company's only been around for 11. So it's really cool to hear from other people, hear different perspectives, hear stories you might relate to. So I am all about having guest speakers. Then the next week is Sarah Try. Now, Sarah Try used to be a coach and found that she wanted to do more on the coaching side. So kind of like being the coach's coach. But what she's been doing is really helping people with their limiting beliefs. And she has a tribe. Her last name is Try. So how cool is that you can like have a tribe not out of your last name, Trybe. And she runs mastermind mindset classes. She does a lot of it for free. And today, Renee was telling me that she had opened up the opportunity to speak on team calls. So I messaged her because we've been buddies for a while. And I was like, hey, Sarah, would you do a team call for us? She was like, I would love to. What would you like? And I said, I would really like for you to do a call on mastering your limiting beliefs. And she was like, on it, love it, totally get it. Awesome. So I cannot wait for her. So for the next 2 weeks, you don't have to listen to me. I'm sure that I will find a way to do some live videos or whatever. But I'm super excited that we get to hear from Elizabeth and then from Sarah in the next 2 weeks. And then it'll be crazy because it'll be like the end of the month. What? We just started February. So those are two big announcements coming up to mark your calendars for. And we really want to show both Elizabeth and Sarah like a huge amount of support and a ton of people on our call. Because you never know when we forget to record last week and have to redo it. And it was awesome the second time, I hope. I think the first time's always best because you get to interact. So the other thing that I wanted to announce to you guys is I've been having a bunch of meetings about Summit, which is nuts that we're having meetings about Summit. And we are planning a huge event for the Thursday before Summit. If any of you guys have ever come in early and gone to like some of the, like Josh Coates did, the Power of I Am with a huge group of people last year. And I know that Melissa McAllister has done some with her coach buddies and had guest speakers. We're talking on that scale. So just know that we are working really hard to bring a really cool event that is sponsored by our teams like Stephanie, myself, Amber, Joy, perhaps Melissa Hudgens, because we're part of a founding team. Like we're really connected with our founding coach, Robert Hudgens, who was like one of the first to do P90X in some of the videos. So really cool opportunity there. So just know that I know you guys are probably planning on coming to Summit on Thursday, but try to come in a little bit earlier when you're making your plans, because our event is probably going to start around 10 o'clock in the morning, go through lunch, and then give you some time to get settled in, get checked into your hotel, and then be ready for another fun event we're planning before opening ceremony. So promise that we're trying to make so many opportunities for our team to get together and have eyeballs on each other, give some high fives, some hugs, have that connection before you guys go and have your awesome Summit experience. Can you believe we're talking about Summit? I can't. It's like freaking me out. So anyway, those are the big things that I wanted you guys to start and mark your calendars for. Of course, there's some incentives coming, some fun ideas, some fun things for those who just really rock their goals. And I love doing that stuff and getting as many people as possible at Summit. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight is something that is an extension from last week. And last week, I told you that I'm working with Cody Jefferson, who, if you went and looked him up, is pretty amazing. You could watch his videos like all day and just get sucked into how inspirational and motivational and maybe a little potty mouth he is. But hey, we won't judge people on that. Let's find the message. So anyway, we started going over beliefs and experiences, why we have beliefs, and made a huge column according to 5 categories. So your 5 categories or your 4 categories may be totally different from mine. You have to decipher that for yourself. But they're basically the things that you love to talk about or the things that make up you. You know, I would never talk about motocross. You know, I just wouldn't. I would never talk about owning my own business like a storefront. You know what I'm saying? Like I would never have any experience with that. I would have experience of working retail, but broader categories, think bigger. So mine are faith, family, fitness, finances, and we added another one, fun or fashion, because I do realize that I occasionally like to post crazy stuff about fashion, and I have a very trend-setting daughter who teaches me daily to just be yourself. So I can talk about that, right? I don't know where she got that from. I'm hoping it's partially from me, but that could be a story. So on each page, the assignment was to write like family at the top and then write 10 beliefs. Whether these are beliefs that you were taught by your parents, by a sibling, by, your BFF, you spent a lot of time over there growing up, an aunt and uncle, grandma, grandpa, whomever it was. And then out to the side of that, in another column, why do you believe that? Because you were taught that, or because there was something in your life, an experience, a memory that led you to that belief? Usually it's called a pain point, a turning point. And that's what we're trying to get at, is that those pain points are not things that we put in boxes and we shove up on shelves and we never, ever, ever talk about. They're actually the things that allow us to connect with people, and they are the things that help us have deep relationships and relate on the same level. So those are the things that I think we have forgotten to talk about because we've gotten so into check this box, do my invite, Success Club, all those things, which are great, but we've forgotten the human aspect of it. So I invested a lot of money into Cody so that he could teach me so that I could teach you, which is what I really, really wanted to make this year about, was a big transformation from inside. So forgive me if I keep looking at my notes. I just want to make sure that I hit all the high points. This was something that he said: in confronting our own demons and bringing them up, we actually allow those who haven't confronted theirs the opportunity. Maybe they haven't asked us for that, and some people get defensive because you're actually calling them out on things they're not ready to be accountable for. But hey, that says a lot about them, and that's something they have to deal with. That is not about you. So don't be scared to share your real, authentic, honest self out of fear that somebody else is going to be offended, because that has everything to do with them. That is actually something that I have to get over. So again, in confronting our own demons, those pain points, those beliefs, those experiences, and they might not be demons. They might just be like little gnomes or something, not like scary, but cute, singing and, troll dolls, something. And bringing them up, we actually allow others who haven't had the opportunity to confront their own demons or troll dolls, the opportunity to do that. Maybe they never even thought about it. Maybe they've never been given permission. Maybe they've been told, we don't talk about that stuff. We shove it in a box way far away. We don't bring that stuff up. That's not healthy. And that actually doesn't allow us to relate with one another. So I'm going to get to the meat of it in just a second. But as coaches, we have 3 jobs. Ready? Our job is to influence. Whether that's by our story, whether that's by our lifestyle, some knowledge that we have, something that is of value, experiences, whatever. We are here to influence people positively, not negatively, please. We are here to sell. We are. We are here to help them, and we are here to sell to them. There's nothing wrong with that. We are sold to every day, and the minute we get out of that mindset that selling's bad, we will embrace it a little bit more, and it'll be easier. Nothing bad with selling. We buy stuff every day. People sell stuff every day. What we're selling is a lifestyle change, and we're selling them healthy, happy from the inside out. Maybe it's confidence, self-esteem, self-assurance, strength. These are all great things. And then the third thing we do is we lead and duplicate. So everything we learn on this call, whether you take a free seminar, you learn something at church, you go to a workshop and you learn something, and you then duplicate that with your coaches, your team, your kids, your community, that's also coaching. So we got to get away from this like, oh, coach is a bad word, and it's going to mean that I have to actually coach people. We coach people all day long. I looked at a website today for coaches of athletes, and it was like a self-help thing for like I got a lot out of it as a parent, because coaches are like parents. We're like just normal people. So what I wanted to get to with all of your homework was this. Now that you've gone through all your beliefs, I'm not going to break them down for you. I don't want you to come here going, all right, let's dissect my beliefs and let's find out who I am. No, I want you to find the theme in all of those beliefs. I want you to like own your stuff. I want you to look through that and go, wow, I've really experienced a lot. I really have a lot to give. I have a lot to share. I have so many stories. Look at that. If you filled out 4 categories and 10 slots for all of them with 10 stories beside them, that is 40 stories. If you did 5 categories, 50 stories. If you did more than that, high five. Good for you. We could probably keep going, and this is just the beginning. More and more will come up. You have 50 posts, 50 real life, unique, totally 100% you stories that are you, your unique voice. They make you stand out on social media. They make you sparkly. They make you shiny. They make you attractive. They make you relatable. And they're not some copy and paste Pinterest post with somebody else's logo. They are you. So that's exciting. You guys, that's awesome that you have all that content to use now. Maybe you need to go through and dissect it a little bit more. I do. Some of them are super vague, and I need to go more in depth. That's okay. You at least have the start. Because for me, I know I procrastinated that stuff for days. I was like, this is going to hurt. This is not going to be fun at all to have to dive back into my boxes that I have stuck up on shelves. But after I started, I got hand cramps. I couldn't stop writing. So many things came to mind, and it was great. It was stuff I hadn't talked about, hadn't thought about, hadn't even come to mind for a while. So a lot of things stuck out for me, and I'm going to share some with you, and then I'm going to show you how to take your stories and how to write a little bit of copy. And this might go a little bit long. I will try to be good. But hey, I moved the call up half an hour. So I have like a whole hour, right? No, that's not how this works. One thing came out is that I am an overachiever. Oh my goodness, I have to be the best. That was a story that kept coming up. I think my sister's the favorite just because she's more needy and I'm independent. And so that's a story, right? That's not like, woe is me, look at me, I'm the victim. Never write from that perspective. Write to connect with those firstborn overachievers who have excellence on the brain and who want to be the best. But this is the thing that I never thought about. My sister is more needy, yes. And so my parents gave her more attention because she needed it. And later on in life, when I came to them and I was like, you just didn't even pay attention to me. My parents said, that's because we didn't have to worry about you. See, I never looked at it that way. They were like, oh my gosh, we were so thankful that you just did well in school, didn't screw up, could tell time. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I looked at it as they don't love me as much. Oh, I flipped that. And I know that there are other people out there who get that, who are highly, highly motivated, overachieving people. And those are the people I want to connect with. Not because I think they love my sister more, but, my parents love my sister more, but I want to connect with those people. And so maybe that's a memory that needs to be tapped into. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so twisted, but that's true. They didn't have to worry about me because they knew I was just going to get stuff done. Those are the people I want to connect with. That's the message I want to send. So maybe I start with something about how, and I don't want to offend my sister because I love her to death, but you have to think about it as you're telling a story. And there's a headline, and then there's a story, and then there's the lesson. There's the punch. Something Cody said was, have you ever read a book of short stories? I was like, yes, I am right now. It's really cool because you get to dive into the life, you get to hear the funny story, and then wham! Wow, that was the lesson. It takes a couple minutes, but it's a great lesson. That's what we have to be, your storytellers. And we're going to get better and better and better. If they're our own stories, they're just more personal. Okay, so he said, one thing is with that whole highly motivated, overachieving, then you start to think, that's what I'm looking for as coaches. Those are the people I want to look for to join my team. He said, these are the words you want to use. Highly motivated, maximum potential, stay-at-home mom. Are you burying your potential? Not because stay-at-home mom is not an honorable profession, and it's wonderful. But do you feel like you're burying your potential? The kids are at school now. Are you bored? Do you feel like you're a drain on your family? Now, this is mine. This is what I was feeling. I feel like I was a drain on my family. I'm looking for someone who's a military wife. I'm looking for someone who is Christian, passionate, fitness motivated, and minded. So all of these things were picked out of my beliefs and my stories. So you might be able to find those themes interwoven in your beliefs and your stories. So here was a funny example. And I had a call with Amy the other day, so she's already heard this, so don't give the punchline. But we were talking, and in everyday life, something will come to mind and you're like, oh my gosh, that totally happened to me. Write it down. You're going to be able to relate with someone. And Cody asked me some question, and it was, I would never do that. I would never, ever, ever even think of that. And I said, it reminds me of the time that our team hit 15-star and was invited out to California. And there was going to be a reception, a dinner, and I only wore workout clothes, and I didn't really have I had jeans and t-shirts and workout clothes, but I didn't have anything fun to go out for the day. Does that make sense? Nicer things, but not dinner things. And so a friend of mine said, oh my gosh, my friend does this really cool thing. It's called a box service. So it's kind of like Fabletics now, or Stitch Fix. And so she is a personal shopper. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could never afford that. That's crazy. She goes, no, you should totally contact her. And I talked to her. Her name's Carly. I talked to her and I said, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what size I wear in this brand. It was Gap or Old Navy or whatever. I gave her something to go off of. I'm this tall. I'm athletic build. I don't like, anything really revealing. All this. I gave her my likes, my dislikes. That's it. And I gave her a price point. I said, you know what? If you're going to send me 5 outfits, I do not want to spend over this amount. What she did was super smart. She sent me twice as much as I asked for in this box, all beautifully wrapped. And inside were things I would have never in my wildest dreams picked out to wear, ever. Different colors, different cuts, different styles. And what she saw in me, because she'd seen pictures on Facebook, she picked out outfits that flattered my body. I wasn't comfortable with some of them because it was shorts and a cutout, back. But I tried everything on and I was shocked at how well everything fit. I would have never tried that. I would have never walked into a store and picked the cream shorts with the floral blouse. Heck no. I would have picked the black pants and the black shirt with the black shoe. Black's my thing. Anything with color, no way. And so he goes, that's something you need to share. I was like, what? He goes, think about it. Think about something to get people's attention. He said, okay, for this post, let's think about it. What's the thing that you want? What's the message in that? She saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And trying on something new gave me confidence. Trying something new, not trying on, trying something new actually gave me confidence. He goes, okay, well, what was the thing that you wouldn't have ever put on? I go, it was like a romper that was short and it was cream and it attached to this floral thing and the back was cut out. He goes, well, the name of your post is, hell no, I'm not wearing that. If I wrote that, would you go, okay, what was she not going to wear? Like, you want to read more. And so then you have the opportunity, because you've grabbed their attention with something about what you're about to say. And then you go into, she gave me the opportunity to see myself and to see new things and try new things I never would have tried. I never would have tried on those clothes, and I felt powerful. I felt pretty and confident. She saw something in me I didn't see just based on me sharing my likes and my dislikes. And it was like, wow, all I did was tell a story, a simple story about something that meant something to me that I'd never told anybody before. And you can create a post and you can reach people who are really feeling like they're not seen, they're not heard, they don't know who they are, and they're looking to feel confident and powerful. And they're looking to feel pretty. And maybe they're ready to try something they've never tried. So, when you're writing copy like this, I already told you the 3 things coaches are. When you're writing a post, you should have 3 goals in mind. You want to equip people. You want to give them something. You want to give them a checklist. You want to give them a story. You want to give them guidance. But your first goal in writing a post should be to equip them. Your second should be maybe to entertain. Make them laugh. Give them something that's enjoyable to read. And then your third goal in any post is to engage. You want them to connect with you. You don't necessarily need a like or a heart or a happy face from Facebook. You need them to come back. You need them to go like, oh, great. She posted again, and last one was really funny. I want to see what she wrote this time. You want them to engage with you. You want them to connect with you. Because of just this conversation on Friday, I did a post over the weekend, and I was like, oh, here we go. And I posted, not all things are what they seem. You shouldn't judge. I can't remember. It was the wine glass with the berries in it. And it was sparkling water with a little bit of pink lemonade. Well, looking at that, because it was in a wine glass, you could have thought I was having a cocktail. It was just my point in that we shouldn't judge things before we know about them. We shouldn't have opinions until we know the whole story. And, that comes from something personal that I was going through, is someone just didn't want to hear the whole conversation. They picked out what they wanted to hear and didn't hear the whole story. And I was like, golly, that's just a shame that you saw something and you immediately judged it. You didn't take time to get to know it, to try it, to experience it. The same thing happened. Someone was asking about Beachbody, about coaching. And they said, I sent them a quick video that I had made about what was coaching to me and a little bit about Beachbody in the United Kingdom. And she came back immediately and said, oh, I don't want anything to do with Beachbody. It's just about a shake. And I was like, oh, that's a shame. You don't know anything about Beachbody. And she's like, well, then educate me. And I did. I did a voice message. And I told her everything Beachbody is and what it isn't. And it's not like any other thing out there that she was comparing it to. And she's like, okay, I'll watch the longer video you sent. She hadn't even watched it. She based her judgment on a short Beachbody clip and the name. Who knows if she even watched the short one? The name. because of what somebody else had said about the company, instead of knowing herself, educating herself, learning herself, trying the workouts, looking at the free trial of Beachbody On Demand and seeing all of the nutrition programs. So you have to give people the opportunity to learn. And sometimes that means you don't accept their first answer, which might all be, I've heard of that. What have you heard? Well, I just heard this. Oh, that's a shame. That's not what it is at all. That's our job, is to educate. What did I say? Coaches. You probably can find it quicker than I can. Sell, we lead, we influence. That can also mean educate. And we lead. So there are two ways to start a great post. And this is copy. Like I said, you want to grab people's attention. You don't want to be shocking, and you don't want to present yourself as a victim, and you don't ever want to attack somebody. You don't ever want to come across as that kind of person. You definitely want to come across as something, I want to get to know her. I just love what she shares. I want to come back and read. And every once in a while, you get to interject the fact that you get to help people change their lives. But they also are coming to know you. People want to work with you. They don't want to work with Beachbody. They want to work with you. So you've got to make yourself known. You've got to let people in. You've got to invite them to get to know you. And sometimes that means being maybe a little shocking in a good way, not a bad way. So I'm going to give you two examples, and then our time will probably be up. These were two examples that Cody gave me. Hope you never get tired of hearing me say, Cody said, Cody gave me, Cody, because I learned so much from this guy, and he is really good, and I cannot wait for him to lead a call for us. He wrote this post, an open letter. To the single mom, your kid is at my house every single day. Oh, I would have read that and been like, oh, dang, what the heck? He's annoyed because this lady's pawning her kid off every day and she's not being responsible. What's he going to say? He went on to say, your kid is the best behaved child I've ever met. It is a joy to have him at my house. You have done an amazing job raising this young man. He takes special care of my soon-to-be stepdaughter, who is special needs, has mobility issues. He is so patient and gentle with her. Gosh, it is just a joy to know this young man. And he flipped it. He said, I had to tell you that, and I wanted more people to know what an awesome mom you are. Well, that says a lot about him, too. The fact that he took the time to write that, and it shows what kind of heart he has. But he grabbed your attention with something that wasn't really what you thought it was going to be. And another one, and this was so smart, you guys. I was like, dang, you smart. Oh, wait, there's two more. This one, I was like, you can't say that. He goes, yes, you can. The headline is, it's not even January 1st, and the gym is already full of fat people. I was like, okay, you can't say that. He goes, yes, I can. If their body composition is more obesity or fat than tissue, bone, muscle, you are fat. I was like, okay, we're not going to go there. Anyway, I wouldn't say that. The point of this was he praised everybody who was in my face. I was like, he praised everybody who was in the gym, sweating it out, working. And he totally went after the gym rats who were so annoyed that there were people on their machines and like taking too long and didn't know what they were doing. And so I'm having to wait forever for my squat rack and my, Thigh Master. And his point was, you know what you're doing. Why don't you go over there and help them? The fact that they're here speaks so highly of them and really shows what kind of person you are. And so he said he had so many people be like, thank you. It's hard enough to put yourself out there when you don't really like how you look or you feel, to go to a public place and not be confident about what you're doing, and then to be mocked. gosh, they should be celebrated for actually doing something, because isn't that what we want them to do? Is we want to help them, and then what? We make fun of them when they actually do it? How twisted is that? So he called them out. But the headline was a little, I was like, you can't call people fat. That's not nice. He's like, yes, I can. And then the last one. And this was the really smart one, I thought, and I'll tell you why. To the server at the Buffalo Wild Wings at 97th and Highway 75. Okay, what did he do there? People are like, oh, what'd she do? And as you read on, he got people to share his post to find her because it was such a great post. He said, you really reminded me of my dead sister and the care that she would have taken with my kids and how you played with them. It just was uncanny. Your mannerisms, everything. You made us have the best time at dinner tonight. My kids even said, oh, she's like Aunt Sarah. And that really was cool to me, to be able to see that and to remember her in such a great way. So at the end of the night, when the tip, I think it must have been a big party or something, it said $25. And you were so excited to get this tip because it was almost Christmas. And I saw you go over to the cash register and you were so excited to share your tip with your friend. And then to watch as I put a 1 in front of that was really cool. And it was just so fun to give you that gift. And then he said, and for those of you who think I'm over here tooting my horn about bragging about a big tip, says a lot about how you view money and he worded it in such a good way, and I'm going to jack it up completely. But he said, it says a lot about how you view money. And it's not the same way that I view money. I view it as a gift. And I'm not bragging about it to say I'm so awesome, but she earned that. And it was a joy to be able to give that to her. He said, people shared that post and it spoke to them because I'm speaking to the service industry. I'm speaking to anyone who's lost a sibling or a loved one. I'm speaking to anyone who's like, oh my gosh, we got to find this girl because she needs to see this. And so you got to think, he's praising her and he's talking about how he has the ability to give. And it was such a joy to give. It says a lot about you. As I step on my lamp and destroy that, that's awesome. It just said a lot. And I really like the stories. I like being able to take our moments. Mine have a lot to do with an eating disorder. That's touchy. But it's also mine and it's real. And at first I was worried about offending people, like my parents and my sister who walked through it. Because that's my story. That's something that I need to share because somebody else needs the freedom to read that, to know that they're not alone. And you know what? In this last couple of days and just this last week, I've connected with a lot more people I hadn't met before, just in changing up the way that I'm speaking. No, click on my post, send me a message, none of that. None of that. Because you should end your posts wanting to make people better. Be a better human. Go out there and pay it forward. Maybe that's your call to action. Just take this and just be a better human. He said that at one point on my notes, I want to say. Yeah, that was, maybe I ripped it out, which would have been dumb. Oh, there it is. He said, at the end, I want people to be a better human. I also want them to take ownership of their life. So maybe that's something that I said resonated with them. Maybe it's a pain point for them, and it's something that they need to address and take ownership of. And I'm not calling them out. I'm sharing my story. But if it resonates with them, then success, because I gave them the opportunity to address that. So yeah, it's touchy-feely. Yeah, it's tough. It's so hard. But it's really cool. And just to prove that I did my homework, It's really cool to look back and see that I have all these posts about family ready to go. I have all these posts about faith ready to go. I need to rewrite them. Here's fitness. Just getting started. Finance is a little bit harder for me. I had 6 because money is a touchy subject for me, but it's super important and I need to get over that. And then the other thing that I wanted to share with you is break it up. Maybe you have those 4 categories and you add a fun one. Make Monday about family, Tuesday about fitness, Wednesday about finances, Thursday about faith, Friday about fun. And people can expect that. You've also got a flow. On Mondays, I'm going to be talking about family, so I'm going to take one of these stories and that's going to be my big thing, and then I'm going to post maybe about my day, and just do my everyday stuff, but that is going to be my big post, my big focus right there. And then your conversations naturally evolve from these stories. They naturally come from people commenting and you connecting and you coming on, common ground. And then you get to know them and you find out their pain points, and they might be the same pain points as you that led you to become a coach, that led you to take this next step, that led you to do that thing that you've been wanting to do forever, to taking that next step. It's a natural conversation at that point that you're able to share more about you because they've already have this safe space between you guys. You have a connection. And so continuing the conversation isn't all that scary. And you're not jumping right into, I'm trying to tell you something. No, because they came to you because you connected with them. So, if you haven't finished your homework, then that is your homework. And it'll be difficult. I'm actually typing mine up now because I can't read some of these words that I scribbled. And I'm organizing everything into a Google Doc. And I have a schedule written up. Mondays is going to be this. Tuesdays is this. Wednesdays is this. And let me just share with you what I'm doing. And then I even have a section of Facebook Live videos, to do on just one a week, starting out small, you guys, because I don't want to overrun people. And I also want it to be something that I put a lot of thought into because I want people to know me. A lot of people connect with your voice. That's why I do voice messages when I'm responding to people, because then they know I'm a real person, not a robot. And they don't think I'm a service, just spitting out the same thing over and over and over again. And the first one would be the importance of being consistent. And I know it's now 8:40. So I just wanted to help you with that kind of copy. And the cool thing is, if you have some ideas, and you're like, I have this great post, I'm just looking for a title for it. That's what your success partner's for. That's what, maybe your coach is for. That's what our team is for. You guys, I'm looking for a title for this post. This is the story. Just give a brief synopsis. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. Maybe someone can come up with some kind of funny thing you wouldn't have thought of. So sometimes it takes a third party to be like, oh my gosh, I love that. I would call it this. But that's what we're here for, because we hit writer's block all the time. So once you do this, you're going to have so much content that is you, that is not from somebody else, that is not taken from Pinterest, that is not taken from somebody else's wall and regurgitated in your own voice. It's going to be you. And that right there is priceless, you guys. Being able to share that and share your authentic voice. So, again, I'll leave you with this. The 3 things we do are we influence, we share a story, we do the hard things, we teach, we sell, we do, We do, but that's how we make money. That's why this is a real opportunity and a real business, is because it earns real income. And then we lead and we duplicate what we learn to help everybody else, to help our entire team, our entire organizations, because we want more and more people to succeed. Now, here are the 3 things that help you succeed: ambition, direction, and caffeine. Those are the 3 things. If you have all 3 of those, you will succeed every single day. Ambition, direction, and caffeine. So, there you go. Energize! That's right, Brittany and Elizabeth. I know that Eileen likes coffee. So, and Jackie, I recorded the call. Hey. All right. So it's 8:42. Give me all the coffee. Yeah, I know. You're crazy. Let's see. Team calls coming up. We have awesome guest speakers. Team Cup is rocking. Yeah, you guys are awesome. So that's what I wanted to say. And just be your better human. That's it. You'll succeed with that. All right. Love you guys. I will see you. Post questions and can't wait to see your stories. Night.